This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let's start today's session. The last session of REST API, we were discuss about API view classes. API view class is used to make the API testing at browsable API window only. That means we can test the API directly in the browser. We need not to write any test.py. So this API class makes code simplify. So in test tab 8, you can see view logic. This is somewhat little bit simplification, and this code I'm going to bring in 4 lines. So yesterday we just discussed about model mixing classes along with generic API view. So as I said that generic API view will not work alone, so it's going to be work with model mixing classes. There are a lot of model mixing classes are there. When we go for mixing classes, then it will be easy to manage your code. No need to write any manual code uh, completely, like that model mixins and generic API view classes will take care everything internally. So this is the better approach because Django REST framework official documentation only will provide this facility to use these built-in classes instead of writing much more code. We can reduce the code drastically now. You can see this. So I'm going to create a new application for showing the examples of working with model mixin classes as well as generic API view. Generic API view only will not work. So your class should be inherited from generic API view class as well as model mixin class compulsory. So let's flip to terminal and create a new application first. This is the application REST app 9. I'm including this application into settings. Step 9. Now you can see in REST app 9 we need to go for models as usual. So I'm trying to create a model here. So previously, a previous application we worked with some model. So let me go for that model only I'm using. So this is the manager model. Copy and paste into here. So this is REST app 9 models. So here manager, name, address, mail, age. But automatically it will create what actually manager table. One more important thing is that I discussed meta and db underscore table is there equals to, this is the logic. So what is this? So this is nothing but what generally when we do make migrations and migrations, your application name underscore manager table will create, but I want to create a table name with this managers only in my database. So that's what I'm using db underscore table managers. If you want to change the table name as per your requirement, you can do this one also, not a problem. Now let's do make migrations and migration. Sorry, spelling wrong. Migrate. After migrate, now you can see when we go to database and refresh it once, you'll be able to see the table name is not your application name underscore table name. So directly we have created a managers table. So this is the manager table. What name through do you want to create a table? You can mention the name here, that will create now. Edit data. Now we have this data here. So I'm trying to insert a few records just for reading for the first time. So manager name. Please mute your audio. I said mute your audio. Mr. Murli, mute your audio. Now there are two records are there here. So I inserted. Now I'm trying to go to serializer here. So serializer is a common, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just going to rest app 8 and this serializer.py, copying and paste into rest app 9 serializers.py, pasting it. So here my application name is rest app 9 and the model name is manager. Serializer class name is manager serializer. Serializer start model serializer. Class meta. Model name is manager. ID name, address, mail, age only. So model is ready. Table is ready. Serializer is ready. And it is time to read the data from database by using view section. But look at this. This is the main logic actually view. First what I need to make from your application. Your application name is REST app 9 dot model import what model manager model from REST app 9 dot serializer import manager serializer from REST app 9 dot models import manager from REST app 9 dot serializer import manager serializer. Okay, yeah. Next what we need to take, we are working with the generic API view and mixin classes. So look at this from REST framework dot generics. Okay, import generic API view. It's a built-in class. And along with generic API view, we need to use model mixins, no, model mixin classes. So REST framework dot mixins import. So first I want to retrieve the data, so that's what I'm using, list model mixin. This is the case. So list model mixin is used to list out all the records. This list model mixin class must and should associated with the generic API view class. So I'm trying to create a class. Okay. So I'm trying to create a class. So here I'm taking manager. List is my class name. This class should be inherited from generic API view, comma, list model mixin, both. This type of inheritance is what you know, multiple inheritance. Creating new class that is manager list from two base classes. Generic API view class is a built-in class. List model mixin is a built-in class. Okay. And here what I'm trying to use, two things are required. Query set. Query set means what actually, manager dot objects dot all record. And serializer class, these two are built-in, sir. Look at this. Manager serializer. Left hand side what I use, this query set and serializer class are built-in classes. Two things are compulsory for every uh, class based view. These two are common. Okay, yeah. Now we are working with what? Getting the list of records, no? Yes, by using your class. But here what I'm trying to take, get method I'm taking here. Def method is get, open bracket, for this request star args star kw args. I'll tell you what is star arg star kw args. I want to return self dot. You are using list of all records purpose list model mixin. That's what here also we use list. Okay, and current request comma star args star. That's all. See, in Python language, I clearly explained star args is a variable length argument. It will accept a number of values. Star kw args is a variable length keyword arguments. Okay, here one star indicate key, another star indicate arguments. So here we are retrieving, we are listing records from database. But how many values are there? So many records are there, no? Yeah. Suppose in the manager table we have two records. Two records means number of values or not, number of instances or not. That is args. Star args will allow us to pass number of values to the function, that is list function. Okay, star args is there. Number of records. Each record can have key and value pair or not. Key and value pair means ID is a key, value is one. Name is a key, Durga is the value, like this. So that's what we are using star KWR. So these four lines are enough to get the database records clearly. You can see this compare. It's very simple, no? When we compare with previous applications, like for example, here you can see in the previous applications, view logic you can observe here. For deleting these many lines I have written, for updating these lines, for posting these many lines, for getting these many lines. You can see here these lines are for getting the data. I just make it how many lines now? Only 4 lines. Because of why? We are using the Django REST framework built-in classes, generic API view class and list model mixin classes. This will make very comfort to create APIs. So this is get method for getting the record, and because of you are using list model mixin, we are using list functions are here. Now if you want to execute this manager list class, we need to set the URL. So URL setting is very common, so you know that. Let's tab 9, go to new Python file urls.py. From django.urls import path. Let's tab 9 import views, and I'm taking URL patterns equals to path. I'm taking now views dot. So views, this is views. What is our view name? Manager list. So views dot as view. I want to give the name of the manager list I'm using so that I can able to get list of record. This URL need to be included into project level URLs also. So I'm using the step 8. The step 8 is previous application. I'm taking the step 9. Okay, path include the step 9. Yes, URL is okay. So serializer is not required. Let me close unnecessary tabs here. Let's manage this now. We are going to get list of records are when we start server. Remaining things will be easy. It's not a big deal to handle. So we are trying to get list of record by using what's that slash manager list. We are getting manager list records, or two records are getting, one and two. So this is about simple a 4 lines of code to bring all the manager details by using get method. And I want to show you creating purpose. I need to use create model mixin class. Only mixin classes will be changed. Create purpose, create model mixin, and now I can show you here class manager create is my class name, generic API view compulsory, and here create model mixin class is okay. But now you can see these 4 lines are common, but small editing is required. These two is common. But here what I'm trying to do, create purpose, generally what method we use, Django REST framework, post method we use. Because of we are using create model mixin, here what I'm using, create only. It's a built-in methods. That's it. You can compare here. If I use here create model mixin, I can use create method. In Django REST framework, common HTTP methods are what? Post method. These two query set and serializer classes, 2 lines of code is common for every view. I want to execute this manager create URLs. Let me set the URL pattern path. So I'm using manager create is my view name, views dot manager create view, as view is a function based class based view. Let's run this and execute this. So the view name is manager, URL name is manager create. Very simple, sir. So you can follow this in reality. Now I'm trying to create. To create, it is asking me to post. Either you can post raw data, that means in dictionary format, you can edit it and post it, or else you can say HTML form, means with text boxes. I'm using name of the manager is Ganesh, address in the mail, page. After posted, the record is created. Do you want to list out here? Again, you can list out back manager list. You got 3 records. Even you can go and check out in database table. It's there, the record called 3. So this is create. Now every operation is very simple now. Create is okay. But sir, I want to retrieve only one record. We have a model mixin called retrieve model mixin. But model mixin class, retrieve model mixin. Same thing, I'm going to copy paste these lines because mostly same code, slight changes are there. So manager retrieve I'm using. Here what mixin? Retrieve model mixin. And to retrieve purpose also we use what method? Get method. But here method change retrieve. Look at this. Uh, Previously list model mixin time also I use get method, but list method it is because list out all record. Now I am using retrieve model mixin. So retrieve it. Retrieve means only but one particular record we can able to retrieve, not all. All means you can able to list. Only one means you can able to use retrieve model mixin. So I'm executing this manager retrieve by changing the URL path. Manager retrieve is my class based view as view. Now let's see this. We can able to retrieve the record by hitting, but make sure that it's my mistake, sir. Wait a minute. Let's close all the tabs. So to retrieve model mixin purpose compulsory, we need to pass ID. So that's what I'm using, int colon pk. So this is mandatory. Which record do you want to retrieve? You have to decide by using ID through only. So I'm using here slash manager retrieve slash ID number one. One record is getting. If I take two, second record is coming. If I take five, do you have any five record? Not found. Clearly, a message is coming, not found. It's very common, sir. So this is retrieve model mixin clearly. Next, I want to do update model mixin. Okay, update. So update purpose also ID is required or not? Yes. First, let me copy this code, and on the top, I am using what actually? Update model mixin. Now you can see manager update I'm using, and here update model mixin. Update purpose we use what method? Put method. And here because of update model mixin, what method I have to use here? Update method, simple. And update purpose also we need to set the URL. I am setting the URL here, path manager update. Use dot manager update as view. This I am going to execute to update one record. Then ID is must, so I am updating the records. So slash ID number 2 I want to update. Second record I am updating. Second record name is Shashi, address is HYD, mail is 20. Put this record and go and check out in database, and there you can see the second record got updated. So this is update model mixin class. Okay, yes. Now next what I'm trying to show you in the view section, delete model mixin I have to use. So update model mixin, comma, destroy model mixin is there. It's not delete model, destroy model mixin. For deleting also, one ID is required, primary key. So I'm going to copy and paste. Manager delete I'm using. So here what model mixin? Destroy model mixin. So delete purpose we use what method? Delete method. Here because of destroy model mixin we use destroy method. It's not delete method, destroy method. The URL I'm just copying this, pasting into next line for modification. Here manager delete class ID. So what is this? Manager delete is there. Yes, as we. Which record do you want to delete? You can mention the ID properly. So that record is going to be deleted clearly. Slash manager delete slash 1. Do you want to delete ID number 1? Yes. So delete means it will be deleted. Whether it is deleted or not, how do we check? So simply manager list again. So 2 and 3 records are there here. Go and check out in manager table. 2, 3 records are there. So this is about all CRUD operations. So delete purpose we use this, view update purpose we use this, and retrieve purpose, create purpose, list purpose. But still we can also make more simplifications are here. Yes, we can do it more, simplify this code. Okay, so how to do this more, simplify this code means simple, sir. We are repeating this code now. See in this views, okay, what views can be work without expecting ID? list view, this that means manager list, manager create. For these two operations, only one class I can create. Yes, it's possible. List and create purpose, one class. And remaining what? Retrieve purpose ID is required. No, we have to supply some input ID. Update purpose ID is required. Delete purpose ID is required. No? For these three operations purpose, one class I'll create. So totally two classes through we can finish our work. Right now, how many classes I'm using? One, two, three, four, five classes for five operations. In these three operations, we'll expect ID like delete, update, what we can say, retrieve particular ID. And two operations will not expect an ID like create and list. So I want to split the classes. Okay. So either you can use this one, this one, or we can use this one only, sir. This I want to make simplify. I'm creating one more class. Class manager list create means both I'm doing. Canary KPI view common list purpose list model mixin create purpose what create model mixin. Two classes are inherited. Now this time this is common no? Query set and serializer class. It's very common. It's not a change. So here, but previously we use what actually list model mixin purpose get create model mixin purpose post. That method I can bring here. So this is one method which I'm copying because for list out, and one more method I'm copying because of create method. Post method is required. You can see this post method. This is create. These two we are arranging. So now instead of using two classes like manager list, manager create, I'm using only one class manager list create. Okay. So you need not to repeat this code again. So this is enough for doing both operations list and create. And next similarly I'm trying to use what actually first let's set the URL here. This is manager list create. Go to URL section. I'm using the URL path manager list create is my view name. For this not required any ID, so that's what I'm not using manager list create dot as view. Okay. Or else we can use shortcut key LC. LC means list create. I can say that my URL name is LC. Next, I'm going to use one more view class manager. Okay, retrieve, update, delete. All operations I'm using. So retrieval purpose, updated purpose, delete purpose, ID is required. So it should be inherited from generic API view. So retrieve model mixin purpose, retrieve model mixin. Update model is purpose, update model mixin. Delete model mixin purpose, delete, destroy model mixin. All mixin classes are inherited. Now this is common query set and serializer class include in this class. Now after that, what is required, sir? def okay, retrieve model mixin purpose get, but we have to use retrieve method, not list method. Update model mixin purpose post or put. So here put method I'm using, and here update model mixin is there, so we have to use update. Destroy model mixin purpose delete, and we use what destroy method. So instead of above code, this code is enough, sir. Line number 44 to line number 66 means 18 lines of code is okay. But here 41 lines of code is there. We are reducing the code more. I am executing only these two views. Two views, all five operations I can finish. So here I am creating one more retrieve, update, delete. For this I need compulsory int pk primary key. Next, views dot Git manager retrieve update delete view as view is a main class based. Now I'm not going to execute these URLs. I'm executing only these two. LC means list create is possible both. RUD means retrieve update delete with primary key. It is possible. So this is very making simplification, including all the classes in all the methods in one class. Let's try to run the server, and you can see this. I'm trying to use first LC. That means what? List create slash LC. So list out record, two records, and creation also possible at the same time. Now you can see I'm creating Manoj record at the rate of manoj@gmail.com. Age is 29 post. And do you want to refresh this list create again? So LC means you'll be able to see LC. It's again 2, 3, 4 records are there. Creating and listing both at a time we can do. Even in the manager table, Manoj record got created. Next, I want to do all three operations at one URL name through RUD. RUD means what? Retrieve, update, delete. RUD slash ID number 3 is required. I want to modify. So look at this. The moment when we use RUD slash 3, you can able to delete it by hitting delete. You can able to modify it by changing here, put method. We are retrieving also. I want update here. Instead of Ganesh, I'm using Ramesh. Instead of address, I'm using it. Instead of this, I'm using again Ramesh. That the age is what actually 30, 19. Put method update is possible. So that updated or not, you can check in the table. Simply updated is there. And once updated, do you want delete this? You can also delete. Or sure you want to delete? Yes means it will delete. So after delete, you can able to try to list create also, not a problem. List create means only 2 and 4 records are there. In database also 2 and 4 records are there. So this is about CRUD operations using API generic API view class model mixin classes. Make sure that generic API view class must and should associated with model mixin classes. Only generic API view cannot be used. Model mixin classes as associated compulsory required. Here you can observe for each class based view is having how many lines of code? 4 lines of code here I'm taking. Okay, 4 lines I'm taking. So because of list model we use get list method. Because of create model mixin we use post method with create method. And because of retrieve model mixin we use get method and retrieve method. And like this. But these are all generic API classes. In the next session, what we will discuss, concrete API view classes are there. When we go for concrete API view classes, you need not to write this also. It will take care everything internally. Only 2 lines are enough. These 2 lines, it's okay. Do you remember I should bring the API class code will be into 2 lines. So this is the 2 lines only. In next session, we'll discuss concrete API class. Meanwhile, if you want to observe what are the concrete API class in DRF, look at this. Concrete API view classes in Django REST framework. You can type. So you can see generic views, and these are all we discussed just now today. List model, create model, retrieve model, update model, destroy model. In tomorrow's session, I'm going to cover what's our concrete view classes. Create API view, list API view, retrieve API view, destroy API view, update API view. Do you want to perform more list and create better time? You can use list create API view. After that, do you want to retrieve and update the record? Retrieve update view. Retrieve and destroy the record? Retrieve destroy API view. Retrieve update destroy API view. All three you can use these classes. these classes will make us very simplify the code. Just 2 lines are enough, even not in 4 lines of code what we have written today. So in next session, we'll see these 2 lines of code, how to bring this. We'll discuss in detail. Okay. Yes. The next session will be tomorrow only. So tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to take the class. You can please join tomorrow also. Just 45 minutes enough tomorrow also. So please join. We will finish that concrete API classes clearly. Okay. Yeah.